Hi, today I'm going to show you what a UUID is and how to create one natively in Wized without having to go to your backend provider. So a UUID is a universal unique identifier. So it is a number that is universal and it's unique. So meaning it is very unusual that when you generate this UUID again, that it will be the same. So this is great to index or to identify items in an array, when you need to identify them, and there may be the situation where there are multiple records having the ID of 1, or the ID it has is not unique enough. So this is a wonderful thing, for example, to track sessions or to track page views if you want to keep track of that. So for example, think of it like this. Every time now this user opens the page, we want to give them an ID, right? So this is what we're going to do in here. We can just have the operator of crypto dot random UUID in the function. So we just run this function to generate a random UUID every time it's being processed. So if we were to put this in a computed variable, which we call UUID, every time we were to reload the page, we are creating a new UUID in this case. So this is a really powerful thing, because you're now able to track those sessions, or at least to identify those sessions. So for example, you have the UUID starting with A9. You know, okay, A9 deleted 5 records, right? And you can track this in your database and maybe set A9 a cookie that should A9 in the next 30 days ever decide to create an account with you, you can have those history already saved on A9, applied now to the user account attached to the email of A9 without them having to lose their progress and everything they did in your SaaS or in your app previously. So this is a wonderful way to identify and to index users without having to go to the database to do that, to make sure to know, to put at least a number on the users that are as of right now invisible to you if they don't sign up. And the basic for building something like this is understanding UUIDs. And this is how you're going to use a UUID. And there are even multiple ways how you can use them. For example, if I were to copy something to my clipboard here, you see that I keep track of this toast log here, and I have this toast ID, which is a UUID. So every time I do any action in here, I will create, using the crypto.randomID function, a UUID and add it in my object as a toast ID, so that when I push this new object on click into my array, I have it indexed and identified by a UUID, so I can track it back. And I could even add the UUID as a data attribute to my element, and for example, add an animation on there to fade in or to slide in this case from the side if I want to. So UUIDs are really amazing, and they allow you to then use setHTML attributes in Wized, for example, to add this unique identifier ID that you have associated to the list item on the DOM element, and then you're able to use also jQuery to access the element directly and not just the list item, and manipulate the element based on click actions or something like this without having to go through the normal setup. So UUIDs are really the gateway to custom functionality, and yeah, this is the basic you need to know about them. Every time you run this function, because all modern browsers have the capability to run this function, it is already predefined, you're able to create this random UUIDs without having to go to your backend, and it is instant. So yeah, I hope that this really helps you, and I hope that you now are starting to work with UUIDs, because they are the most secure way you can index and identify what is going on your Wized web app. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.